Hey everyone, welcome to the memory reel from forgotten moments to iconic eras. This is your front row seat to the stories, styles and sounds that shaped a generation. Today I'm taking you on a journey back in time to discover the fascinating history of Mount Clemens, Michigan. Ever heard of the mineral baths that put this small city on the map? Let me tell you how it all started. In the 1870s, folks were trying to develop salt wells here, but instead, they stumbled upon mineral-rich waters. This unexpected find led to the birth of a booming health spa industry. Imagine this, by the late 19th century, Mount Clemens was famous worldwide for its therapeutic mineral baths. People came from far and wide, including celebrities like Clark Gable, Mae West and Babe Ruth, all seeking the healing powers of these baths. At its peak, Mount Clemens boasted 11 bathhouses and numerous hotels. The very first bathhouse, aptly named the Original, opened in 1873. The Original continued to prosper until it burned to the ground on August 23, 1883. It was promptly rebuilt and reopened on January 15, 1884. This new facility could handle 500 baths a day with its 58 tubs. Up to July 1, 1893, 750,000 had been given. Fast forward to today, and the only remaining bathhouse from that golden era is St. Joseph's Sanitarium and Bathhouse, now known as Select Specialty Hospital. It's in danger of being demolished, but the Friends of Historic Preservation are fighting to save this piece of history. Built in 1882, the Medea became Mount Clemens' second bathhouse and was located at 19 South Gratiot, near the corner of Cass Avenue. In 1882, they established the Medea Springs, which supplied the mineral water for the bathhouse. Named after the Greek mythological sorceress Medea, who was believed to have magical powers, it was built and operated by the Mount Clemens Bath Company, whose members were William J. Daly, Charles Nims, Charles H. Parsons, Thomas Fitzgerald, and Spencer B. Russell. Unfortunately, with the decline of the bath industry, the Medea fell upon hard times, was poorly maintained, neglected, vandalized, and demolished in 1991. It was especially noteworthy for the long array of beautiful arches that covered a walkway along South Gratiot. With its demise, a long-time Mount Clemens landmark and the last of the downtown bathhouses disappeared. Located at 118 North Gratiot on the southeast corner of Clinton Street, the Fountain became the third bathhouse in Mount Clemens. It was constructed in 1886 by R.O. Meldrum. R.O. Meldrum was another person whose ailments had been cured by the baths, so he decided to benefit humanity and to establish his sons Charles H. and E.D. in business. The Fountain Bathhouse was said to be one of the most complete and cheerful in the city, capable of bathing 500 patrons daily. The Fountain Bathhouse operated until 1938, when it closed and the building was demolished. An AANDP grocery store was built there in 1939. Located at 61 East Street, now North River Road, the park became the fourth bathhouse in Mount Clemens. Overlooking the Clinton River, the park in its day was one of the most important and lavish of all bathhouses in the city, and one of the finest in the state with a national reputation. In 1887, Margrethe Kiefer from Buffalo, New York, brought her ailing daughter to Mount Clemens with the hope that a course of mineral baths might bring a cure. They stayed at the Central Park Hotel at 61 East Street. The daughter passed away, but Mrs. Kiefer, a sharp businesswoman, chose to stay and invest in the hotel. It was considered one of the finest bathing institutions in the country, with marble floors, partitions, wainscoting, private cooling rooms, and every latest improvement. This bathhouse and hotel offered a gymnasium, bowling alley, bar and card rooms in the basement, and there was an elevator for the guests' convenience. A grand 18-foot wide hallway led from the hotel to the bathhouse, where by 1928 nearly 500,000 mineral baths had been given. The park became the social center of Mount Clemens and was the scene of many fabulous parties and balls. Known for its luxurious accommodations, the park hosted many affluent and famous personalities, including Henry Ford, George M. Cohan, Mae West, Booth Tarkington, William Randolph Hearst, Helena Rubinstein, Jerome Kern, William Jennings Bryan, Alice Roosevelt and Fannie Hurst. Benjamin MacArthur passed away in 1899 and his wife Julia Kiefer MacArthur assumed his interest in the hotel. John Kiefer passed away in 1900 and the bathhouse partnership passed to his son George H. Kiefer. When Margaretha Kiefer died in 1911, she left her interest in the Park Hotel to her daughter Julia. The Arethusa bathhouse, located at 30 S. Gratiot Avenue, was built in 1911. It was the last operating bathhouse in Mount Clemens and was completely destroyed by an arson fire on May 25, 1976. Business declined slowly after the Depression of 1929. By 1937, the hotel was listed as vacant. Considered hazardous because of neglect and vandalism, the hotel was demolished in 1940. A USO recreation center was built there and was converted into the Mount Clemens Civic Center after World War II. The Olympia Salon and Spa is bringing back the tradition, offering mineral baths once again. So, while Mount Clemens has evolved over the years, its rich history continues to leave a lasting legacy. With several historic businesses that are nostalgic to residents like Swan Drugstore, Stahl's Market, a local favorite, and the Coney Island right in the heart of downtown. The VFW Hall Banquet Center is your premier banquet venue for all your celebrations and events. Mount Clemens Drive-In Theater, the Voodoo Lounge, a small quant nightclub co-owned by Michigan native Kid Rock, Kmart, a nostalgic favorite to all Michiganders. Preece Department Store was founded in 1896 as the John Preece Mercantile Company and operated in the same location until it closed on September 27, 1982. The building was razed to make way for the Cherry Street Mall development in July 1986. The Hayloft Leica stand that has hosted several local acts and provided entertainment for the locals. Cherry Street Mall, an outside strip mall full of shop as well as Farmer Jack, Perry Drug Store, the Sorrento's Pizza, the former Christian Clemens Elementary School off of Joy Boulevard, Miller Brothers Creamery, a staple of the neighborhood loved by all who live there. Macomb Mall was the mall of choice for the urban residents, while Lakeside Mall, that was favorited by the likes of Oprah and The Rock, was the area's largest and nicest mall located in Sterling Heights, about 10 minutes away from St. Clemens. Mount Clemens is a city in the U.S. state of Michigan. The population was 15,697 at the 2020 census. It is the seat of government of Macomb County and part of the Detroit metropolitan area. Christian Clemens, the founder of Mount Clemens, first visited the region in 1796 during a surveying quest. When Christian Clemens made his first trip to the region, it was known as Big Springs or High Banks along the river, and later as Huron. The region intrigued Christian Clemens, who decided to acquire a piece of land in the region in 1801. After Clemens acquired the piece of land, he built a log house on the same spot where the CBE Group headquarters is presently. In 1818, Christian Clemens established lots and streets with names and plotted a village that he called Mount Clemens. On the 15th of January, 1818, Lewis Cass, the governor of Michigan Territory, signed a proclamation that established the county of Macomb, named after 1812 war hero General Alexander Macomb. It received a post office in 1821 with John Stockton as the first postmaster. 3 months after the establishment of the county of Macomb, Governor Cass designated Mount Clemens the county seat, and Christian Clemens was appointed as the county court's judge. On the 26th of January, 1837, the day that Michigan was incorporated as the 26th state and admitted to the Union, Mount Clemens became a village. The region's population was growing every year, and by the year 1879, the population of Mount Clemens had increased to more than 3,000 people. After the population surpassed 3,000, the residents of Mount Clemens voted for the region to be incorporated as a city. Clemens and his friend John Brooks built a distillery which attracted workers and customers, helping to settle the area. Christian Clemens is buried at Clemens Park, located just north of downtown. Indian mounds were in the vicinity, more specifically just north of the Clinton River near the present location of Selfridge Air National Guard Base. Glassmaking and cooperage were some of the region's economic activities. After the founding of Mount Clemens, the region quickly established a reputation for itself as one of the best pottery makers in the United States. Throughout the better part of the 20th century, Mount Clemens was one of the biggest producers of greenhouse roses in the florist scene. The Mount Clemens Pottery Company was a significant employer in Mount Clemens, Michigan from 1914 to 1987. It produced pottery, particularly dinnerware, for many years and was known for its Mildred pattern. The company's history includes a legal battle with employees related to the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938. Mount Clemens, Michigan, was once known as the rose capital of the United States, with 10 major rose growers operating over 30 acres under glass. This rose industry thrived from 1880 to approximately 20 years after World War I. The Mount Clemens Rose Gardens, owned by the Weiss family, was a significant contributor to this industry, producing over 6 million roses annually. The gardens closed in 1999. By the late 90s, both industries had left Mount Clemens. Currently, manufacturers include food products, auto parts, and model trains. The region also once hosted one of the greatest inventors in American history, Thomas Alva Edison. It was at the Grand Trunk Station that the young Edison became acquainted with telegraphy. Joshua Dickinson, builder of the Crocker House. Joshua Dickinson was born in Vermont in 1811. He came to Detroit with his parents in 1841 and a year afterward moved to Mount Clemens. In 1846, Joshua married Catherine Lee, who was the granddaughter of Judge Christian Clemens, founder of Mount Clemens. In 1852, Joshua Dickinson was elected Register of Deeds. Unfortunately, it was the same year that Joshua and Catherine lost their 4-year-old child, Harriet. Just a few years later, at the age of 27, Catherine died along with their 2- and 4-year-old children, William and George. It is assumed that they passed away due to some illness. No documents have ever been found to state what took their lives. Joshua was then left with only one surviving child, 7-year-old Catherine. Mr. Dickinson built his home in 1869 on land that was part of the original Christian Clemens private claim 141. It was located at 46 Market Street at the corner of Market and Walnut Streets. This location was platted as part of Mullet's survey in 1836 and was part of the land on which Christian Clemens, founder of Mount Clemens, built the home in which he resided until his death in 1844. Joshua Dickinson, set to building the house just 1 year before Catherine, was to marry George Martin Crocker. Catherine Lee Dickinson married George Martin Crocker September 6, 1870. A few months after he was admitted to the bar. The ceremony took place in the home of her grandfather, Dr. George Lee. George and Catherine moved into the new, beautiful Italianate home with Joshua Dickinson sometime after the 1870 census was taken. The Crocker House is now a museum. The Crocker House Museum and Gardens provides educational experiences of Mount Clemens and Macomb County history through the use of artifacts, rotating exhibits, publications, stories, and special educational programs. Our purpose is to collect and preserve our local heritage to instill an appreciation of our community's unique history. Throughout the late 20th century, the suburban expansion of metropolitan Detroit and its exurbs affected the city of Mount Clemens as well as its surrounding townships. The Anton Art Center, formerly known as the Carnegie Library, is a neoclassical building and art center. The Emerald Theater is a concert venue in Mount Clemens. Notable people from Mount Clemens include Larry Sorensen, baseball pitcher Ricky Clark, baseball pitcher proprietor Dean George Kane is an American actor. From 1993 to 1997, he played Clark Kent, Superman in the TV series Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. Kane was the host of Ripley's Believe It or Not and appeared in the sports drama series Hit the Floor. Here is a view of Senator John F. Kennedy visiting Mount Clemens during the 1960 presidential election campaign. The back of the Jewel Theater is seen in the background. For over a century, Mount Clemens, Michigan, a quaint and lovely town situated on the high banks of the Clinton River, was a world-famous destination thanks to the ancient healing properties found in its water. Just a stone's throw from Lake St. Clair, and halfway in between two Great Lakes, there's an inherent mixture of salt and other minerals found in the water. The very first commercial bathhouse opened in 1873, sparking an industry that would earn nearly $3 million annually. At its height, there was nearly a dozen bathhouses and 24 hotels in town supporting this popular industry. The likes of Clark Cable, William Randolph Hearst, and the legendary Babe Ruth himself would frequently visit Mount Clemens to bathe in the therapeutic water. While Mount Clemens always had a robust nightlife, New businesses such as Black Cat Coffee and Clementine's Pastries are bringing in a whole new crowd during the day, especially on the weekend to eat, shop and explore. It's becoming a hot spot for brunch. People are having fun taking photos with the art murals or taking videos playing the musical instrument art in the Cherry Street Mall to post on social media. Beyond adding new businesses and experiential art, the DDA created a robust year-round event calendar. This summer they brought back the Riverside and Sound concert series, as well as the Uptown Friday night concerts on the Fountain Stage. Residents packed wagons with expandable chairs and walked downtown to relish a warm summer night with music. Robust nightlife starting with the Emerald Theatre that has hosted several famous acts. Orleans Sports Bar, great places to eat such as Gus Coney Island, a local favourite, Sam Sorrento's Pizza, also a local favourite. Farm City Week and fireworks display has been one of the best displays in Macomb County. And Bath City Bistro, a fine dining experience. Cherry Street Mall is still an attraction, although renovated over the years. Clemens High School, a long-standing historic school. And its athletics department is great with the Lady Bathers volleyball and basketball team, the track team, the Battling Bathers football team, and the Battling Bathers men's basketball team, which has been impressive, further bringing excitement to this small town. This small little town has quite a history and has plans on becoming a great little city once again, with a thriving downtown area and robust dining experience and nightlife. And the Michigan Lottery Amphitheater at Freedom Hill has been hosting great concerts over the years, located in nearby Sterling Heights, an upscale suburban area. And the Santa Day Parade is a sight to see and brings the town together. And Lake St. Clair Metro Park, you'll find recreational activities for every interest, whether it's bird watching, windsurfing, kiteboarding, boating. The city's neighborhoods are well preserved 19th and early 20th century houses, Victorian mansions, craftsman bungalows, Tudor revival and charming early 1900s homes. Today, the city of Mount Clemens is still reminiscent of the mineral bath era, with its picturesque houses and beautiful old homes. The Mount Clemens Downtown Revitalization Project, DRP, is a partially city-funded, partially grant-funded major construction project on and around Macomb Place from spring to fall 2025. The project's scope encompasses a complete renovation of Macomb Place between North Walnut and Pine Street, all of Cherry Street Mall from the Roscott parking lot to Market Street, and a full reconstruction of the New Street parking lot. The intent is to make the downtown area more accessible, traversable, and pleasant to spend time in, increasing foot traffic and driving economic development. This includes landscaping, repaving roads, and sewer adjustments. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more content like this, as well as other content you may be interested in.